This is one session in a series describing PureLoad. PureLoad is used for executing extreme performance testing of different web servers. This session describes how to use the web crawler tool. More details on the different settings in this presentation can be found in the product documentation. The web crawler tool is available in both PureLoad and PureTest. The web crawler is intended to help creation of scenarios that can put load on many different static resources on a web server. It also offers additional functionality to list the tree of resources, present statistics, show errors, etc. The web crawler can be started from the PureLoad console using the menu item Tools, Web Crawler. The web crawler is configured using the Settings tab. Starting URL is the starting point for the crawl. The web crawler can be constrained to stay within a domain or within a server, or to have no constraints at all. Depth: specify maximum crawl depth. Default is -1, which is unlimited. Use proxy can be used if access to the web goes through a proxy. If checked, the proxy host and port must also be specified. You start crawling by selecting the Run Start Crawler menu choice or the green right arrow button in the toolbar. The status bar will shift into running state and show some execution information. Queue shows how many resources that are currently waiting to be processed and the number currently in progress. Resources shows the number of resources that have been processed. Resources in this context means web resources such as HTML files and images. The View tab contains two sub-tabs at the bottom, Tree View and Arrow View. Tree View shows all resources that are found during execution of the web crawler. Arrow View lists all resources that were invalid during retrieval from the web server. The most common problem here is that a resource was not found. Since the structure of a website is actually a graph, not all references will be visible in the tree. The web crawler processes a web by starting at the HTML page identified by the specified starting URL. The crawler parses the HTML page for all outgoing references. If an outgoing reference is of an appropriate type, then the resource itself is fetched and all its outgoing references are parsed. The web crawler continues this process until no more resources are available. The web crawler performs the parsing in parallel, and the order of the resources in the tree might change from one execution to another. The bytes column shows the number of bytes each resource as reported by the web server. Incoming links lists the number of resources that references the listed resource, while outgoing links list the number of resources the resource itself refers to. Inline resources are the number of references that typically target image files. The arrow view is useful since it only lists resources that was found to have errors during the crawler execution. Note that the pages causing the errors are shown as root nodes in the tree, with children being the actual reference that failed. It is possible to view detailed information for a resource in any of the tree or arrow views. Just select a resource and press the information button bar in the tool. The incoming links number specify from how many sources that the URL is referred, while outgoing links specify how many resources the URL referred to. The Statistics main tab lists a statistics summary for the web that has been crawled. The information is updated every 10th second during crawler execution. Once a web has been crawled, you can generate scenarios. The crawler generates scenarios based on the selected resources. A web page will be created as a task sequence in the generated scenario, while other resources will be tasks. The crawler can only handle static resources. This means that session management, HTTP post forms, etc. are not supported. This display comes from using the File, Generate Scenario menu choice. The Include Children checkbox is used to specify if the generated scenario shall include all child resources in the tree for the selected resource. Max depth specifies the number of child levels to include. Lastly, we see the Scenario tab with the newly created scenarios. The scenario information can be saved into a PLC, PureLoad configuration file, and later be opened in PureLoad. It is also possible to use the regular copy and paste functionality in order to copy the scenario from the web crawler into the scenario editor. That ends this session. Thanks for watching this presentation. For further information, please consult our webpage on www.pureload.com. Happy testing!